Hi, this is Donovan, and I'm going to share a little bit about trauma recovery yoga. And first, I'd like to tell you a little bit about how this particular kind of yoga is for wellness. So, this is part of a series that started with why prayer and meditation are good for the brain. And then I shared a little bit about trauma and chronic loss and things, how wellness practices and mindfulness practices can be part of recovery even when we're in situations of systemic injustice and ongoing loss. So today, again, inspired by the folks at Hillcrest Wellness Club and Say Their Names LA, who asked for some sharing on this. I wanted to share a little about trauma recovery yoga. So trauma recovery yoga is something that started in Las Vegas, and they're still headquartered there, and it started after a mass shooting there a few years ago, when folks who knew yoga and had experience of being post-traumatic stress survivors themselves, dealing with that, were able to share in real time with first responders some small techniques that help us drop into our body, kind of connect with our body again, and kind of help us regulate the stress response of really traumatic situations. So even when we can't make those traumatic situations go away, these are some tools that can help us. So, inspired by the folks at Trauma Recovery Yoga, I'm trained in this technique. I've taken their training twice, and I'm a certified trauma recovery yoga instructor. So I wanted to share first a little review, very quick, because we've done this in a couple other videos, and you may already be very familiar with this, but some characteristics of trauma. I wanted to really focus on some of those characteristics of trauma that have become especially familiar to us during the extended pandemic, and only connect those with how trauma recovery yoga, specifically this little practice, can help. And we'll do the practice today. So this is just a little background to the practice. If I can just get my slides to change. Okay, so 3 things that are going on. It's the pandemic right now. I'm just getting over COVID myself. I have a breakthrough case of it. So I'm making these videos a year after, or a few months after I taught these workshops, because I'm home and I have time to do it now. But loss of control, helplessness, unpredictability. I mean, we've certainly been experiencing this for the last couple years. So I just wanted to connect with how this little practice, we're going to just do a 20-minute chair sequence today. It's a very common sequence that's done in trauma recovery yoga, sometimes called mindful movement, how it helps with these 3 things. So when we're feeling loss of control, this little practice, you might notice that you'll be encouraged to embrace choices. Make a choice. You can choose to do this, or you can choose to do that, or you can choose to do it this way, or you can just sit there and listen, or you can think about it. So you'll be offered lots of choices, and reminding you that you do have some power in this situation, at least, and that can be a key to healing. The feelings of helplessness that we have during practice, again, you're going to be offered choices and the opportunity to move however feels right to you, as much as you like, as little as you like. So it'll be an invitation over and over again to notice how you're feeling and to do what feels right to you. So again, we're trying to encourage the confidence to know how you feel and advocate for yourself, even though we can't change some of the bigger situations. Unpredictability, this is one thing that trauma recovery yoga, or the TRY method, trauma recovery yoga method, is really focused on. It's a little different than, or maybe a lot different than, other forms of yoga practice that some of us might be familiar with, in that it's very predictable. There's a set sequence. All the instructors are trained to do it the same way, and the reason for that is that so folks who take this who do this practice, we know we ourselves are trauma survivors. Folks come to this specifically not to become a yogi or to become an athlete or something like that, but to help with trauma. So we want to make it very predictable. So you'll see it's very familiar once you get used to the sequences. No matter who's teaching you, where they're teaching you, it's going to be the same sequence. So we, of course, we have our own individual little personalities that might, change it a little bit, like word choices or something like that. But even our word choices, we're coached to say very similar things and keep it really familiar for you, so it can become very predictable. We also tell you before we do something, we tell you what we're going to do. So it's all about helping, at least in this moment, you have a predictable experience. Just 4 other characteristics of trauma that I wanted to lift out, that because they're so common to what we've been going through for the last few years. Arbitrary or inconsistent rules can really trigger trauma responses. So again, because this stays the same, it's not random, we don't mix it up, it's always the same. Practicing this regularly can help be a reassuring experience of, okay, there are some things that are consistent. I'm having a consistent experience. The outcome, we can say fairly confidently, people who do trauma recovery yoga or mindful movements, these sequences consistently do start to feel better. Invasiveness, that can be a definitely triggering a trauma response. So of course, now you're doing this online, you're in your own space. I'll actually mention that. We always mention, hey, you're on your own mat or in your own chair, or it's your space, it's your yoga. And even if you were in person in a trauma recovery yoga class, nobody would touch you. We don't come up to your mat. It's your space, safe space. Isolation is another trigger to trauma. A lot of us have been isolated for a really long time now. So one of the nice things about doing trauma recovery yoga is you can be around other people, at least now online, like with one other person, but maybe you can watch this video with somebody else, or the other trauma recovery yoga videos with somebody else, or if you're in person, you'd be with probably some other people. And again, you don't have to interact any more or any less than you want to. You don't. You're basically in your own space, doing your own thing, noticing how your body feels, paying attention to your breath. So you're around other people. You're not isolated in that sense, but you're not pressured to perform or interact. Another characteristic of trauma is constantly feeling in terror. And of course, we've been going through some really frightening, even terrifying things. So that's an understandable feeling. This practice helps us notice how our body's feeling, and it helps us self-regulate. These are all tools that you can use anytime to self-regulate, especially like the breath work, or even just thinking about some of these movements if you can't do the movements. But we're going to focus on a chair sequence today, so that a lot of these things you might be able to do anywhere, anytime. And it just helps you process your own feelings at your own pace as you're ready, right? So, okay. I've gone over this before, and just in case you haven't seen any other videos, just a quick review of trauma recovery yoga is very aware of the fight and flight response that you see here in the middle. So when we're triggered, when our brains and body are triggered, then we're in that fight flight response. We can't help it, and so the movements and words and breath work that we do in this practice helps us to kind of calm that or regulate back down, deactivate from these fight or flight, or up at the top is freeze. We want to drop back into our body and help our brain understand that we're okay by helping our body be in the kind of state that it would be in if it was in a safe, relaxed state. So we're bringing ourselves back down into that state where we can connect with ourselves and other people again. And then this is again something that these are all shared in trauma recovery yoga teacher training. So we're just acutely aware of the stress responses of the body, and certain systems will constrict or become overwhelmed. They're preparing to conserve energy so that you can either run away or play dead, or whatever you can do to get out of the dangerous situation. So that's the stress response that we have when our sympathetic nervous system perceives a trauma, a threat, a danger. And many of us have been living this. Most of us have probably been living in this state for a long, long time now. So these self-regulating practices of breathing and slow movement that we're going to, and repetitive movement that we're going to do, are really just, again, aimed at helping our body get into that relaxed state, or even simulate a relaxed state, which then signals our brain, well, wait a minute, it might be okay for me to, relax, slow the heart rate down, and open my eyes and things like that. So that this body-brain connection that we're using, we're kind of using our body to signal our brain, I'm okay right now. All right, I wanted to share last year during the pandemic. Was it last? Yeah, I did this in the spring. So trauma recovery yoga, trauma recovery yoga got invited to share in the Clark County schools. Virtually, we got to lead mindful movement classes with kids while they were in lockdown. And these are just some of the things that the kids said. And if anybody, doesn't see these or can't read them, I would just like to say that this is the things the kids said. They liked learning how to relax. I felt calm and happy when I did yoga. I learned to say positive things to myself, about myself. Class was fun. Stretching was fun but hard. It was very chill. Class went by fast. I would like to do it more often. And I like showing my family my stretches. So that's a little encouragement from little kids during lockdown in the public schools, and what they got out of it. So I hope you'll get something out of it too. I already mentioned that we're going to be doing slowed down mindful movement. We're going to be paying attention to our breath. We'll also make sound. I didn't mention that before, but our practices close with a hum. And the vibrations that you might feel in your body as you hum can be very soothing to the body. And again, just kind of signal your nervous system, I'm making this slow humming sound. I'm not screaming. I'm not crying. I'm not panting. So my body, to do a slow hum on a deep breath is telling me that I must be in a safe place. You don't have to think about it. Your body just knows that. That's your body's interpreting that. Okay. It's kind of like a lullaby. It's just a very simple hum. So we're going to start by a grounding exercise. When we start the practice, we actually start. I'm just explaining this to you really quick before we do it, but you'll be finding yourself in space. I'll ask you to look down if you have sight, or feel with your sense of touch, to either look for or feel 4 textures, or look for 4 colors or shapes. So we'll just start by that and just noticing what's in your space. You might even try to do that now while I'm introducing it and talking through it. And then we'll ground. So grounding, when I say ground, we're literally trying to feel the ground, or if you're sitting down like I am, you might notice where you're seated. Where is your body connecting with something? Your feet connecting with floor, your sit bones connecting with a chair or a bed, your hands resting on your thighs, whatever you notice, points of contact. You're supported, you're grounded. And centering is literally, again, noticing the center, just like grounding is noticing the ground under your feet. Center is noticing the center of your body. So just notice as you breathe in and out, notice your belly button floating out on the out breath, and breathing in, pushing, or maybe I'm saying that wrong, sorry. You breathe out, and maybe your belly button goes back towards your spine. You're pushing the air out, and as you breathe in, your belly fills up with air. Notice your belly button floating away from your spine. Whatever that is, just don't even worry too much. Don't overthink your breathing. Just kind of notice your belly button floating in and out, your breaths in and out. And just notice any heat or sensation that you might feel in the middle of your body as you're mindfully breathing. And then Of course, we'll really come to the breath. Breath happens now. That's one thing reason we keep coming to the breath is because I can't breathe ahead. Like I can't bank a whole bunch of inhales for later, right? I can only breathe in and breathe out right now. So we just ask ourselves, this is even a common one used in Zen Buddhism, right? I mean, it could be in any tradition. It could be just as a physical thing. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. So as simple as that. That just brings us into that present moment, like I said. We use positive affirmations. I want to give you a heads up on this too. I'll be asking you to pick an I am statement. And what that is again, this is building self-confidence. Just choose something. Maybe you're not quite feeling it, but it's something you want to feel. You want to lean into it and embrace it. Bring it in. It might be aspirational, but it's something that we're going to pick one, and you're going to say it over and over and over throughout the practice. So I'll invite you to say that thing to yourself. These are some ones that the kids came up with, and I wanted to share theirs. Some of these were ones that we offered and they grabbed onto and made their own. Others they came up with on their own. So these positive affirmations from the kids, these were second and third graders. I am important, I am confident, I am determined, I am magical, I am happy, I believe in myself, I am amazing, I will do great things, I am growing every day, I am a leader, I am creative, I am playful, I am wonderful, I think positive, I can do anything, I am fun. Some of the ones we share with adults that we suggest that, options for you to choose from: I am loving, I am calm, I am peaceful. So really just think any one that you might want to take for yourself and use throughout your practice. And like I said, we're going to close practice with a hum. So I'm going to share with you, I'll put it in the comments, a resource about using sound, chanting, humming, singing as a trauma recovery tool. So this taps into that a little bit. That's one that I use a lot. It's really helped me a lot throughout the pandemic. I've joined some groups online of folks that just get together and sing and chant and things like that. And it does give the mind something to focus on in the present moment. That's one benefit that it has. As you're humming, you might just notice how the vibration feels in your chest, in the heart area, and travels up and outward through your lips. You might notice how the humming, especially with our mouths closed, it vibrates on your lips, right? So you might think about it, that hum, that vibration traveling from heart to lips as kind of if this is your thing, blessing other people, blessing those around you. If you want to. If it's not your thing, let it go. Take what you like and leave the rest. As you hum, you might also notice sort of relaxation. So dropping the shoulders, inviting your body to relax by dropping your shoulders, smiling, and closing your eyes and just breathing slowly, filling your belly and chest with air as you breathe in. And you can even, as your lungs expand, imagine your heart opening, and then letting go as you breathe out into a hum, and letting your chest and belly fall and soften. And then after we do that, I'll invite you to just take a couple of natural breaths and notice how you feel. So I'm talking you through the whole practice there. That's what the practice is going to be like. So let's go ahead and get started. There's a little bit of cues there for the practice. I'm going to actually stop sharing and just guide you through the practice. All right. So let's begin by choosing an I am statement. I hope you already have. I will choose I am calm. And then we're going to start by doing chair sun salutation. So we're seated. If you've done sun salutations before, you know what this is. We'll ground though. We should ground. I skipped over that. So let's go ahead and take that time to breathe in, breathe out. Just notice where you are. Look around, find 4 shapes or colors or textures. And now notice what's supporting you. Where are your feet touching? What are they touching? What are you sitting on? What is supporting you? Where do you feel points of contact with yourself, the earth, the space around you? And now notice the center of your body. Notice your rib cage. Maybe expand as you breathe in, soften as you breathe out. Notice how your belly is feeling as you breathe in and breathe out. And notice your breath. Notice as you breathe in, just think, I'm breathing in. As you breathe out, notice I'm breathing out. I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out. And now the next time you breathe in, let's go ahead and bring your arms up. You might even spread your fingers and look up, opening your eyes, letting your body know I'm safe. Bring in that light to yourself, and as you breathe out, go ahead and forward fold. Fold all the way down, touch your knees or your toes. I'm looking up so that, you're looking down, and then as you breathe in, come all the way up again. Stretch up, and as you breathe out, bring your hands to your knees. Make a flat back. So this is kind of a halfway forward fold. Breathe in again, all the way up. And we're going to breathe out, lean over one leg, and as you breathe in, hug that knee up to your chest. This is what we're doing instead of a downward dog or anything like that. Bring a little bit of a fold to our body. So go ahead and breathe out, let your leg down, and bring your head back down to the ground into that full forward fold. Just let yourself hang loose there. Breathe in. Let's hug the other leg. Give it a hug. Say, I am happy, I am peaceful. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, come halfway up. Make your back flat. Your elbows are in towards your body. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, let's stretch all the way up. Maybe spread your fingers like stars, look up, and say your I am again. I am happy, I am peaceful. Breathe out, let's forward fold, back down. We're going to do one more of these. Breathe in, halfway up, so flat back. Breathe out, forward fold, all the way down. Breathe in. Hug your knee and I am happy, I'm silly, I am playful, I'm a little bit embarrassed. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, let's go hug the other leg. I am playful, I am happy. Say here I am. Let it go, forward fold. So you're letting yourself come all the way down and then breathe in, come halfway up, flat back. Breathe out. Let's go ahead and breathe in and stretch up tall. Fingers up, looking up. Breathe out. Let's go ahead and bring your hands back down to your sides. Let them float. All right. Let's see if you can get a little bit more of the picture here now. You would normally get a better experience than this from trauma recovery yoga, but my focus here really was to introduce it today. So we're going to go ahead now and breathe in and extend our arms outward, fingertip to fingertip. Feel yourself stretch. Breathe out, lean one hand down and one hand up. So you're still stretching fingertip to fingertip. Look up at your hand that's extended up. And then let's bring it side to side again. Drop your shoulders. See if you can lift your chest if that feels good. And then we'll go ahead and bring the other hand down, the other hand up. So we're getting a nice side stretch here. Fingertip to fingertip. Go ahead and look up at your fingers. And then we're going to breathe out. This is not a good angle. The sun is changing while I'm doing this with you. Okay. So we're going to breathe in and we're going to do even a deeper side stretch now. All right, so let's go ahead and breathe in. And as we breathe out this time, see if you can stretch your side. You might even lean over a little bit more. See if you can breathe in and stretch those fingertips that are up. Stretch them even further over to the corner of the room. And as you breathe out, maybe you can come a little bit further over. Maybe bend that lower arm. Drop a little deeper into that stretch. Let's breathe in, come up, and we'll go ahead and switch sides. So as you breathe out, let one hand come down, the other hand's up, stretching those arms fingertip to fingertip. And as you breathe out, let's see if you can curl that arm overhead. Sorry that we're not seeing it so well. Bending one elbow, the lower elbow is bent. Let's see, breathe in and see if we can stretch a little bit more, and breathe out and maybe bend a little bit more over to the side. Just a nice side stretch. Let's come back up. And now let's bring our hands down to bring your hands down to your thighs and just notice the support there. We're going to lean into your I am right now. We're just going to be in mountain pose. So this is a seated mountain. So notice your feet on the floor. Notice your whatever's supporting you as you're sitting. Maybe engage your core a little bit. Maybe notice as you breathe in and out that warmth in the center of your body. Lifting the chest a little bit, rolling your shoulders down, back and down, as if you're getting stronger and taller like a mountain. Maybe let your chin drop just a little bit and notice a little bit more length at the back of your neck, as if your spine is growing a little bit taller. You're a mountain. You're solid. You're supported. You're grounded. And say your I am. I am. I am peaceful. I am strong. Take a couple deep breaths here and just notice how you're feeling. And now as we breathe in, go ahead and reach your arms out. And I'm going to invite you to cross your arms in the front as you breathe out. As you breathe in, bring your arms together. Some may notice this is kind of like eagle. Okay, so you can bring your arms together that way with your backs of your hands together, or you can bring the palms together. Whatever feels good to you. You're going to breathe. As you breathe in, go ahead and lift the arms. As you breathe out, bring them back down. As you breathe in this time, cross the leg on top that matches the arm that's on the bottom. In other words, well, let me see if I did that right. Okay, so I have my left arm on the bottom. It means I have my left leg on the top. Okay, so I will try to cue that better on the other side. There's a lot of self-acceptance and gentleness that goes with this. I'm sorry I haven't done this in a long time. All right, so let's go ahead and breathe in. See if you want to maybe stretch your arms like this. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you can make your arms like this, like two stacked logs, or some people call this like a genie. So you could do that. All right, and we're going to go ahead and now untwist everything. Let's go ahead and just extend those arms nice and long. Bring the arms back down. Okay, we'll do the same thing on the other side, but I will cue it more effectively. So let's go ahead and stretch our arms fingertip to fingertip as you breathe in. And now let's just try this the other way. Let's cross your legs. Cross your legs the opposite way from how you had it before. And let's go ahead and cross those arms too on the out breath. So again, the arm that's on the bottom and the leg that's on the top match. So right now I have my right leg on the top and my right arm on the bottom. And as we breathe in now, you can bring your hands back to back, or palm to palm, or you can stack like this. So whatever feels good to you, whatever feels like a good stretch. We're just doing a nice shoulder stretch here. So, okay, so let's breathe in. Maybe lift your eagle feather to the sky if that feels good. With your genie arms, just feel a nice stretch in your shoulders. And as you breathe out, bring those arms back down, in towards the belly. And let's go ahead and let everything come back to center. Untwist everything. Okay, and we'll go ahead now and we'll do another sun salute. So let's go ahead and breathe in. Let's see how it feels different this time. Breathe in, stretch up nice and tall. Might want to wiggle your fingers, stretch your fingers. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, come halfway up, straight back. Breathe out, let yourself fold down. Breathe in, let's come back up and bring one leg with you. Give it a hug and say your I am. I am strong. Breathe out, let your leg go and fold back down. Breathe in, let's give another hug to the other leg. I am strong, I am calm. And breathe out, and let's let that go and forward fold over our body. Your body. Go ahead and come up halfway, flat back. Breathe out and let go. Go back down, forward fold. Breathe in. Let's come all the way up. Arms are outstretched. And let's bring them in overhead and back down. You might want to bring them down to your heart. Give yourself a little hug here. And this time we're going to add a little bit of imagination here. Some of you that have done this before might be wondering what happened to the lantern. We're going to bring the lantern in now. So again, I'm a little, like I said, only minor differences. Everything is normally how we do it. I'm a couple things are little bumps in the road here, but no major differences from the usual sequences. All right, so we're going to go ahead and bring out our arms. I'm going to breathe in and stretch up, tall. Breathe out, and we're going to forward fold. Breathe in, halfway up. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, hug one leg. I am peaceful, I am calm. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, other leg. Give it a hug and say your I am loving. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, stretch up, look up. Here's where we're going to add our I am again. I want to say your I am nice and loud. I am loving, I am kind. And this time, visualize as you look up there, visualize or imagine a balloon or a beach ball or a lantern, one of those floating lanterns. And imagine on it something that you're wishing for, something that you want, something that you want for yourself. Maybe it's that I am peaceful. Maybe even more fully, I am filled with peace or a peaceful world. Whatever you want, just imagine that. Maybe write a word in your mind's eye that like you have your favorite color, a marker or a crayon, and you're writing on that beach ball or that balloon or that paper lantern that floats into the sky. That word, maybe a picture, an emoji. Just go ahead and look up at it. And now as we breathe out, let's let it go out into the world and just imagine it floating away. Just let your arms slowly float back down to your sides as you look up and just put that wish out into the universe. All right. Okay. And we're going to go ahead now and breathe in. One more time, extend your arms out. And this time, I'm going to ask you to, as you breathe out, pat yourself on the back. All right? Let your hand rest there. And we're going to take your other hand, and let it drop down. And bring the back of that hand to rest on the small of your back. Okay, and some of you may recognize this as, some call it elephant's ears or cow face pose. There's a lot of different ways of talking about this, but what we're going for here is a nice chest stretch. So you're stretching elbow. I invite you to stretch elbow to elbow, and maybe even as you breathe in and out, especially as you breathe out, maybe you'll be able to bring your fingers a little closer to each other. Maybe your hand that's on your back will come up a little bit. Maybe the hand that's patting the back of your neck might come down a little bit. Breathe in and stretch those elbows away from each other. Breathe out. Let the belly be soft and just let those hands rest. Breathe in and out here. One time I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out. Just notice how your body feels. And then on the next out breath, go ahead and let your hands come back down to your sides. Notice how your shoulders are feeling right now. Notice how your chest is feeling. Let's try that on the other side. Breathe in. Stretch fingertip to fingertip. Breathe out. Pat yourself on the back with the other hand. And I didn't switch hands. And bring that other hand that was at the top before. Now it's resting on the back, small of your back. So the back of your hand is resting on the small of your back. As you breathe in, maybe try stretching the elbow that's on the top up towards the ceiling. Elbow that's down towards the floor points a little more to the floor, so you almost have a straight line there from elbow to elbow. As you breathe out, just let yourself breathe into that. Maybe over time, bringing the fingers a little closer together if that feels like a good stretch to you. If it doesn't, don't do it. This is all about you and your body, what feels good to you. Breathe in, and one more time, let's try dropping the shoulders and pointing the elbows away from each other. Breathe out. Let everything soften. Notice how you're feeling. Maybe pat yourself on the back again. You're doing a good job. Breathing in, breathing out. And let's go ahead and bring those arms back down gently to your sides. And now you did a wonderful job. We're on our last pose of the sequence. This is boat pose. So what we're going to do, I'm going to invite you to lean back a little bit so you can balance your boat. And you can keep your feet on the ground if you want to, and just lean back a little bit. As you breathe in, you might try pointing your hands straight in front of you. Kind of notice what's going on in your core now. You might start to shake a little bit. Some people say we're shaking off fear here. All right, it's a little bit of work for the core. If you want to, you can bring one leg up. Can't see it, but I'm doing that. Or you can try to bring both legs up. There's another, you can also raise your sails or put your oars in the water. All right, but we're breathing here. So breathe in, breathe out, find what your boat wants to do. This is your boat, your way. Ooh, I'm really feeling that shaking. Go ahead and now bring your leg or legs back down to the ground and your back straight. Go ahead and bring your hands back to your sides. And let's push our boat out of the water. So using your hands, push yourself up for a minute. And then let yourself rest again. Come back down. Just notice how your body's feeling. We're going to do that one more time, one more boat, and then we're done, okay? So we're going to breathe. I'm going to invite you to breathe in. Lean back to your balance point on your sit bones. If you used one leg up before, try using the other leg. You can just try something totally different. Doesn't have to be the same boat. So you can bring both legs up, one leg up, keep your legs on the ground. Whatever you want to do, you can have your oars or your sail. Whatever you want to do. Oh my goodness, I really feel that in my core. Just notice, breathe in, breathe out. 2 or 3 inhale, breaths in and breaths out. And let's bring our arms back down, your legs back down. Come back to center. Notice how your body feels. Maybe one more I am. You deserve it. Some words of encouragement for yourself. I am peaceful. And now let's bring one more breath in. Really good breath. All are good breaths. Breathe in deep, however you want to. I just felt like stretching. You don't have to stretch. Fill your lungs, your chest, your heart expanding. Maybe bring your hands here or here and hum on the way out. Notice how your body's feeling right now. We're going to do that 2 more times. And it's your own hum. You don't have to match my pitch. You don't have to match how long or short I'm doing that. This is your hum. So that, again, let's invite you to breathe in. Fill your own chest with air. Feel your heart expanding. And as you breathe out, hum. Breathe normally. Notice how you're feeling. Again, as you breathe out on this last hum, you might imagine sending that vibration of love or peace out to all those around you, or just basking in it yourself. Maybe it's just like the rays of the sun, and it's your own warmth, and you're just enjoying it. So one more time, let's breathe in. Open your heart, fill your chest with air, and as you breathe out, hum. Now just take 2 or 3 breaths. Come back to a natural breath, the way that you just naturally normally breathe. Notice how you're feeling. And I hope you enjoyed a practice of trauma recovery yoga or mindful movements. I'll be dropping resources into you'll see them in the description of this video. So resources where you can do trauma recovery yoga with the actual folks that do this all the time and will much smoother than myself. 20-minute family sequences, free online on YouTube. They stay on time. I just wanted to give you a little flavor of it, but and then there's also stuff here on trauma and regulating the brain and humming, and so different things depending on what you're interested in, if there's anything there you want to dive deeper into. So thank you for sharing this time with me. I hope that you springboard from this into other explorations of trauma recovery resources that work for you.